So in this Tools in 10, I will be showing you how to divide words with the vowel-vowel syllable pattern. So feel free to grab a pencil and paper or your lesson page on 254, and you can practice along with me. The vowel-vowel syllable pattern is the last syllable rule that we teach in the Brain Friendly Reading program. And words with this pattern have two vowels together that need to be divided to read the word correctly. You can see in the table of contents on the left-hand side that there are a lot of lessons that are taught before getting to the vowel-vowel syllable rule lesson. You may consider pulling this lesson forward and teaching it early. Just remember, when you pull a lesson forward in the sequence, be sure to select and include in your instructional activities only words and sentences from the page that have skills that your students have been taught. So you don't ever have to teach all the words on a page. You can select the ones that you want to include in your instruction. There is a syllable division guide for reading that comes in very handy for teaching each syllable pattern. The link to this guide is at the top if you don't already have a copy. This guide lists the syllable patterns in the order that they are taught in the program, the page number of the lesson, specific notes for that particular pattern, examples of words and how to mark and divide them, and a how-to column with step-by-step directions on how to mark the words. The vowel-vowel syllable pattern is located here on the second page. If you decide to teach the lesson page earlier in the sequence, be sure your students have had lots of practice with the vowel consonant syllable patterns listed before this, which include vowel, consonant, consonant, vowel, vowel, consonant, 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 vowel, vowel, consonant, vowel 1, and vowel, consonant, vowel 2 patterns. And those are all listed before you see that vowel section. So let's go over how to teach children this syllable dividing rule. Often when we see two vowels together in a word, they function as a vowel team, and we mark them with a big V. However, if there are two vowels that are together but are not a vowel team from the chart, they need to be divided and each vowel makes a separate sound. For example, in this first word, we mark the vowels and the consonants between. We see that there are two vowels together, I, O. Are they a vowel team? If we look on our chart, we see that OI is a vowel team, but IO is not. Therefore, we don't mark with a big V, but mark separately and divide between the two vowels. We continue to mark the rest of the word, and now we work between these two vowels, and we see a VCV pattern. We will try first choice and divide after the vowel, which makes the O say its long sound. And this is what the word looks like after dividing, and we read the word violin. In this next word, we again mark the vowels and mark the consonants in between the vowels. Here we have I and U together. But after carefully looking at the chart, we see that UI is a team, but IU is not. So we divide between the vowels. Now we work between these two vowels and we see a VCV pattern. So we will try first choice and divide after the vowel. This is what the word looks like after dividing, and we read the word helium. It's important to note that I in the middle of multisyllable words can say many sounds. It can say it can say I, or it can say E. There are several words on the vowel lesson page that have I saying E in the middle syllable. And this instructional point is included in the teacher box at the top of the vowel lesson page. Sometimes you will have two vowels that look like a vowel team, but don't function as one when you pronounce the word. When that happens, the vowels can be divided and pronounced as two separate vowel sounds. For example, in the word diet, we mark our vowels and we see IE together. Looking at our chart, IE says E or I. If I read the word using each pronunciation, deet and dite, neither form a familiar word. So that means the IE is not acting as a vowel team. So we divide between the two vowels and try reading it that way. Dividing after the first vowel creates an open syllable, so the I makes a long sound. We read the word diet. In the next word, after marking the vowels and the consonants in between, we see EA together, which as a vowel team makes three different sounds. It can say E, and A. However, none of those sounds work to form a familiar word. So we divide between the two vowels. As we continue to divide the word, we see a VCCV pattern. So we divide between the two consonants. This is the word after dividing, and we read it theatric, theatric. Now let's practice with some of the words on the vowel lesson page, which is on page 254. These words have vowel patterns as well as other previously taught patterns. As we work, you can refer to the syllable division guide if you have a printed copy, or you can grab the link right here. All right, so here I have the syllable division guide, and in this section it tells me what to do when I have two vowels that are together. So you can use that as a reference. So here we have your vowel page. I just pulled some words from that page to do for practice here. Whenever we do this kind of work, we always mark our vowels and we mark our consonants in between. So we have vowel, 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 and then this E at the end, we're going to analyze. Is it jumping? Is it a silent E? It looks like it's a silent E and it's jumping and telling the I to say I. So we're not going to mark that vowel. So if we look here, it kind of looks like a vowel team, right? But I-O is not a vowel team. O-I is. So when there's two vowels together, we're just going to divide between them when they're not a vowel team. And now between these two vowels, I have one consonant. So I need to mark my consonants in between our vowels. And we see a VCV pattern. So if you look on your, where it says VCV, you have first choice, where you divide after the vowel, or you can do second choice, where you divide after the consonant. So let's try first choice. Divide after the vowel, and that O says O. So now, if I were to read this word, iodine. Iodine. That kind of sounds like a word that I'm familiar with. We may have heard of iodine, where that O is schwa, iodine. Yes, doctors use iodine. Our next word, we're going to mark our vowels. We see two vowels together here. Is it a vowel team? Nope, our vowel team would be OE, not EO. So we're going to separate those. I'm going to mark our consonants in between the other two vowels. And here I have a VCV pattern. So again, I could try first choice and I can mark here, and that would say A, cameo, cameo. Let's try second choice, and that would say A, cameo, cameo. Yes, cameo is a word that I'm familiar with. So the student can try first choice. If first choice doesn't work, then they could try second choice. Our next word, mark all of our vowels. I see two vowels. Is it a vowel team? IA? Nope. AI is a vowel team. So these need to be separated. I'm going to mark all my consonants in between. So now let's go through and do, this is very helpful for kids with longer words. We have a VCV pattern, and we can try first choice, and that would say pro. Now we have VCCV, and whenever we have two consonants, we always try between the two consonants first, and that says ver. Okay, and then this would say either by, or it could say be, because I, in the middle of multi-syllable words, when it's open like this, can often say E. So proverbial, proverbial. It's not a very common word, but you could talk about what that word means with your student. Now, these words here are a little different because they look like vowel teams. And the student could try reading them as a vowel team. And if that doesn't work, then they can split them up. But when you're teaching the page for the first time, you're going to teach them that, okay, these are vowel teams that we would split up. So OA, if we kept it as a vowel team, OA says, oh, and that would be bow. Well, let's split it up and see what it makes. Bow A, or is that a schwa? Boa, boa. Yeah, I've heard of a boa. It's a kind of a snake, isn't it? Boa constrictor. And then they would continue by marking your vowels, i.e., is that a vowel team or is that two vowels that need to be split up? If we split them up, client, client. If we keep them together, it would be client, or i.e. can also say e like thief, client, client. Yes, I've heard about that word before, client. And notice there's no consonants to mark in between. Those are our only two vowels. Our next word, we've got two vowels that look like a vowel team. And we're going to just go ahead and divide them. Here's another vowel. And then our E at the end, we're going to analyze that. Is it a jumping E? No, but I think it's telling that C to say S because of CI, CE, CY. So that's a silent E. Let's mark our consonants in between. This is already divided. Here, I see a VCCV pattern, so I'm going to divide between. And let's try reading that word, reinforce, reinforce. And then our last word, we're going to mark our vowels. We see an IE, that could be a vowel team, but here we're going to divide between the two. And now we're going to mark all of our consonants in between. And now, because that's a big word, let's work between two vowels at a time. We have three consonants here. So that means there may be a chunk that we keep together or a blend that we keep together. And a student might see I and G and want to keep that together. Or they might see GR and want to keep that together. So they could try either way until it makes a word. We're going to keep GR together. And then our next two vowels, we have a VCV pattern. So I'm going to do first choice again. That's the most common choice. And that E would say E. And now we'll read our word. Ingredient. And that I could say I, diet, or that I can say E, diet, ingredient, ingredient. That's a word. All right. So we did several examples of words that are right from this page. Again, when you're teaching this skill, you can just have the student go ahead and divide between the two vowels that are together so they get that practice. And then later on, you can do some mixed words where they have to decide if that word as a vowel team or if they need to divide those two vowels separately and each one makes their own sound.